So, super easy to take apart a Glock. Now we're empty. You can see down in there. Fuck, gotta get the fucking angle right. Yeah, you can see down in there. Super easy. Take a standard 3/32 pin punch right behind here. Push this pin right out. Catch it so it don't disappear. These things are super easy to lose. And another one right here. Gotta take the slide off first. So you're gonna pull backwards on the slide up just a little bit. These levers, there's one on each side. You're gonna pull those straight down. Release the slide. Pull the trigger. Off comes the slide. So it's super easy to do. Now, this second pin right here, this holds your trigger assembly and everything together. Just push that right out without losing it. You notice this second pin is a lot thicker than the first pin, and it's kind of hard to focus, but this big pin has a little notch cut in the middle of it. It's got a couple little lines in it, so it's super easy to identify. And then you have your trigger block, so you just kind of pry this up and out. It's got to come up and forward. It's on an angle, so you just kind of pry that out of there, slide it right up and out. You can see how it's kind of shaped like an angle like that, so that's how it goes back in. Then you pull out your slide release. This is a Glock 19 Gen 5, so it has a dual slide release, one on each side. And then you just take a hold of your trigger bar. So in here you have your trigger shoe, your trigger bar, and this is your main trigger assembly right here. So then you can just grab any part of that, and that whole thing comes right out. This is your entire trigger assembly. Most companies selling an aftermarket Glock trigger will sell, if I can get it loose, they will sell this. This is your trigger shoe with the built-in safety right here, and the trigger bar. They will sell this as one unit, so that way it's easier to ship and easier to change out and interchange. This right here is your connector bar, and this helps indicate like what your draw weight is. So this particular one is a double diamond 3.5 pound connector, so it lightens my trigger pull a little bit. And then inside here is the reset mechanism for the trigger and stuff. After you pull it and it resets and clicks back out, that's what resets that. So this is super easy to take apart. Like, this video is a lot longer than it needs to be, but I'm going into depth on it. So then when you want to put it back together, I know it's super hard to see. I've got a shitty fucking camera. Inside here, there's a little like lip, and then there's the cutout right here. So you want to get this long piece under that lip and this side piece in that side hole. So you got to kind of feed it in at an angle and then push it down and turn it so it looks like that. I know it looks crooked, but that's because the connector's pushing it back out. So then when you want to go to put it back together, you just take the whole assembly and you take your frame, drop your trigger shoe in there, so that way it comes out in the right hole, giggity, and then just give that a little push, and there it is. Then you take your slide release, put that back in, take your block, make sure you orient it correctly so the prongs are facing towards the front of the barrel. You gotta just find the sweet spot and just slide that down in there. And then what I like to do when I put it back together is I take my guide rod, I put it back through that hole, that second pinhole, just to line everything back up. As long as you don't drop your pins. So, let's see, come on. Get in there, you little... It's being difficult. Why aren't you lining up? I forget something? No, I didn't. Let me take this back out. I think I fucked something up when I put it back in there. Yeah, I didn't seat the trigger fully. Aha. Trigger got hung up as I put it back in. That's just me not paying attention. So that's that. There's that. That's just slide release drops right in. The block drops right on. And right now, gun's dirty because I haven't cleaned it in a while. But alright, so anyway, I like to put the pin back through there and give it a little wiggle just to line everything back up. So you take your big pin with the little indents on it, push that through from either side, it doesn't matter which. So get that started. Put your pin pusher back in, and just kind of wiggle it around just to line all those holes up, and then keep pushing. And then you notice it's protruding a little bit still. I'm not sure how well you can see that on the light. It's protruding a little bit. You just give that a little push. Might go through to the other side, that's fine. Just do that till you kind of hear it click in place. Which it clicked, I just didn't hear it click. So that's that. And then you do the same thing to the rear. Slide your pusher through. Give it a spin. Make sure everything's lined up. Take your tiny little pin, which these are a bitch. Just push that right back through. That slides right in. And then you use the side of your pusher. Just get it all lined up. And then you take your slide. Make sure everything's back the way it's supposed to be. Your recoil spring is nice and tight in there. This little plunger down here is as far upwards as it'll go. And you just line it up, rack it back, and you're good to go. Sweet. And I'm rocking the GR merch. Gotta love it.